Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at conducting our first text-to-image generative model bias evaluation. If you haven't watched the first part of this video series, it might be a good idea to revisit it if you're unsure of setting everything up. Access the try before you bias Hugging Face space, then log in using your TBYB credentials. In this example, we're going to look at the SegMind SSD1B Stable Diffusion model. Copy the model name as shown and input it into the TBYB interface. Test out your loaded text-to-image model by inputting whatever prompt you like. Now that we know our model has been loaded properly, let's get started with quantifying its biases. Navigate to the Bias Evaluation tab. Here, we can change and control parameters of our bias evaluations for our chosen model. This includes the number of images that are generated per prompt, the number of inferencing or denoising steps, and the image resolution. We can also control what prompts are used for our evaluations. By selecting objects, we construct simple, isolated object prompts. Then, by including a person in the frame, we add action modifiers to each object to make the prompts more complex. Selecting occupations allows us to gather social biases, so we can see how occupations are represented in these models. Once the images are generated and evaluated, we can start to see some results. This includes the top 20 objects detected and a visualization of the distribution bias. A smaller area under the curve indicates larger outliers and thus, a more biased model by distribution. The greater the inconsistency in object specified in the prompt versus object generated, the larger the Jacquard hallucination. Finally, generative miss rate is calculated using a vision classifier. A lower miss rate indicates a greater alignment between prompt and image. Navigate to the Generated Images tab. This allows you to view the generated images and the prompts that were used. You can also download a zip of your images and prompts by clicking the download buttons. Once you have navigated back to the Bias Evaluation tab, you can then download a CSV file containing your object distribution data. When you are ready, go ahead and save and upload your evaluation to your TBYB profile. By adding your data to the community, you contribute towards furthering the conversation of fairness and reliability in generative models. Through the Model Comparison tab, you can view, compare, and visualize your results, as well as compare your evaluations to others that have been shared. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we will look at conducting a task-oriented bias evaluation study.